information because we want everyone to come out to see MXW.
Yeah, MXW is what I'm thinking about now, and that's the website for that is mxwwrestling.net. You can find out a little bit about the May 16th show, and we're going to be relaunching the site every week. We're going to be just kind of over and over, just going crazy with it, putting new content up. Best way to keep in touch with me, maybe see how everything is going on more a day-to-day basis, you would want to do Facebook, and that's, you can find me on Facebook, MXW Joel Gertner. Twitter. MXW is on Twitter also, and you can get the links to the Facebook and the Twitter from the website, and if anybody wants to send me an email, that would be at joel@mxwwrestling.net.
There it is, Joel Gertner. Hey, thanks a lot, man, for coming on, and we will link up to you on awesomebomb.net, and so everyone will be able to get a hold of you. And thanks for coming on. You're the greatest ring announcer in the history of wrestling besides Howard Finkel. And there it is. That's it. Thank you so much, man.
I appreciate it. You guys are scholars, gentlemen, and you're also a bunch of whacked-out lunatics. I think you should all be locked up.
That's right. Thank you. You're exactly correct. Thank you.
Awesome, guys.
Fuck ass. CW, can you believe what this guy's saying about us? I mean, you know, hey, listen, you were in the ECW locker room, so you must have known guys like us that are just drunk, fucked up lunatics, you know what I mean? Like,
it's just another normal night.
Right. I mean, we're not doing anything different than, say, Sandman and Sabu and, like, all these guys you were in the back, the back stage with. We're doing the same thing they were, right? I mean, we're not...
Yeah, you're just hanging out, having a good time, right? Enjoying yourself.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about. As long as, you know, no, don't ask, don't tell.
Right, and I'm not asking you to tell, but just in general, the backstage, because we hear every story from all these shoot interviews. Every story is the place was just fucked up. Everyone was fucked up from the time they got there to the time they left to the time the parties were having at the hotel. Everybody was fucked up the entire time. Is that true, or is it a kind of?
It's a little. Yeah, it's a little fabrication. I mean, there's some of the guys, you know, Sandman was drunk here and there. You know, that was the one thing that I was misled about was that's the stories I heard before I got there, and that's what I was expecting to see everybody, you know, doing drugs, needles, and, you know, everybody being drunk, passed out in the back. And it wasn't that bad. Sometimes it was worse than others as far as the drinking and this, that, and other. But everybody was kind of close, man. Everybody was, you know, trying to help everybody, and there was no everybody off by themselves, getting high and shit like that. That was afterwards when you were back at the hotel, and, you know, everybody doing their own thing. But as far as backstage, it wasn't, you know, it was made out a lot worse than what it actually was.
But fucking, you're talking about needles. I mean, that's a whole different level of fucking rock, you know.
I know, but that's like, the stuff I had heard of. You know, guys shooting up in the back and, you know, shooting up before they get to the show and shit like that. And no, man, there wasn't none of that that I saw of. You know, like I said, I saw the drinking and everybody was a little smoking afterwards, and, you know, on the way probably to the next town or in the hotel room and stuff like that. But the clique I rode with, Jack Victory, Louis Dangerously, Steve Carino, and myself, we were more interested in finding a damn Krispy Kreme and where a pizza was more than anything else.
Okay, well that makes sense. That's okay, because I know that, like, not everybody was busy keeping it real like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, hey, Mr. California, this is your guy. This is your main man, CW, the enforcer, the guy you named yourself after. Ask the CW fucking something, man.
Hey, man, let me get this straight. CW answer, what's up, man? I'm the one that brought you on the show, man. So let me ask you a couple questions. I have a couple questions. How'd you become an Anderson, brother? Because I know your legacy. I followed you. You used to train at the power plant, and I heard you have like a backstory about Arn Anderson. Is that true?
Arn, no. Gene, I'm sorry, not Gene, but Ole, yes. Arn was very cordial to me. Actually, Arn was the one that gave me the enforcer moniker once I got to ECW. But Gene Anderson gave me the Anderson name through two other guys before he passed away in the early 90s, because I've been an Anderson since like 1993. And started running, and I used my real name, Chris Wright, used the initials, this CW, and running it from there. But once I got to ECW, when I was at the power plant, I tried to keep from being an Anderson because I didn't know how Arn was going to take to me. But once I got to ECW, and Paul kind of made the introduction, Arn gave me his blessing. But it was back in 01 or 02 when I finally got to meet Ole, and he was the last one that did give me his blessing. And that old bastard was probably one of the most miserable people I've ever had encounters of dealing with in my life. And he was a complete ass towards me and my girlfriend at the time and everybody else there. Didn't want to do the spots that we had talked about of him giving me the blessing, and he wouldn't come out behind his table because he was selling his stupid-ass book. So, yeah, everybody else, as far as Gene and Arn, but Ole, yeah, he was just a miserable prick, and I have no use for him.
Wow. Hey, another question, man. I know you don't do a lot of hardcore wrestling, man, but I remember you had a Boston street fight between Axel Rotten and Balls Mahoney. How'd you feel about that match, man? Did you want to go in it, or what was going on? Because I know you're not really in the hardcore division, you know what I mean?
No, yeah, that was probably the second time Bill Wiles and I have fought Balls and Axel, so I was a little more easier going into that. And if I'm not mistaken, that Boston street fight's on YouTube. I think Bill Wiles has put that up. But the first time we fought in Michigan in a street fight, and I was petrified because I had never done anything like that at ECW, and I thought that I'd actually gotten heat. That's why I was putting the match. Actually, Raven kidnapped me that day, and we showed up at the building right at bell time, and Tommy put me in that match. We were first match. So, but that Boston street fight, I remember once I was trying to get color, and Axel sitting there had a CD grinding in my head, and I couldn't do it. He says, "All right, CW, you got one more try, then I'm going to do it." So I tried to cut my head over because I knew if I didn't get it, Axel would get the blood out of me one way or another, and I figured I might as well go ahead and do it.
Wow. So you never wrestled New Jack before?
Do what?
You never been in the ring with New Jack? Never like that?
Yeah, I was in the ring with New Jack quite a few times. Me and New Jack got really close when he found out that he met me like my very first time we were down in Alabama, and the girl I brought there because I'm all about dating black women. I'm actually married to one now, but he saw that I was married to or dating a black girl, and he's like my opposite because he don't do nothing but white girls, and we kind of got along and found out he was from North Carolina. And then once I got in the ring with him, actually the first time I got in the ring with him was in Chicago at a pay-per-view where he hit that electric football game over my head and melted it. But, yeah, Jack and I wrestled a few times, and we've had some good times in the ring. He's another one that he is scary as hell to watch, but actually a lot of fun to work with.
I've been in the ring with them, too, man. Actually, you were there at that show when I've been in the ring with them, XPW Cold Day in Hell. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's the, God knows what a disaster that show was.
You didn't like it enough? I was part of that federation, man. That's wrong.
Yeah, it was a big, the show, the guys were busting their ass, but it was supposed to be this great turnout, and they charged this ridiculous amount for tickets, and it wasn't, no way the turnout was what it was supposed to be. And they flew me all the way out there just to sit in the damn crowd and do a quick run-in.
I remember that against X-Pac. I remember that.
Yeah, against X-Pac,
But CW, you sat in the crowd at the WWE show. What was that? What happened with that? Because I'm only remembering it because I remember, and I don't even remember what show it was or anything. But I remember it was like, well, here's CW, and there was somebody else with you. I don't know who it was. I don't remember.
It was me and Chris Chetty. It was at the first one night stand.
Right.
WWE.
Yeah, and what happened with that? Because that was sort of lame, it was like.
Yeah, before the show, up until then, myself and Swinger was supposed to work Danny and Roadkill on the pay-per-view. We get to the building, find out that our match had been scrapped, and we were going to work a dark match because WWE wanted more than the WWE ECW guys in the show. We were going to work a dark match, and later that, so we started getting that together. About an hour or so later, Tommy comes up and says, Vince doesn't want y'all to do a dark match. CW, you got a singles match just for the house. And so I'm like, all right. So I was getting ready for a singles match. And right before that, Tommy comes up to me again and says, Vince has scrapped your singles match. He doesn't want anybody bumping in the ring. and taking the heat from the crowd. He wants